Good morning and welcome to a fabulous Friday. It's Friday. I seem to be very excited about that this week. I'm excited because I did my accounts this week. So even though we've got my lovely clear background behind me, all around the floor, all on the desk, over here, there's paperwork, there's receipts, there's bank statements, there's everything. And I'm partly glad to get away from that. And I'm partly just happy to be here again. I can see someone's joined. Hello, whoever you are. I am this morning drinking coffee. Here it is. It's the world's smallest mug. Every Thursday night I plan exceptionally well for this Facebook Live. The one thing I forgot, to put the dishwasher on. So here is my cup of coffee. I'd love to know what you're drinking, so if you're live with me, do tell me. I've had to have about 3 cups in here today. So there's a lot of people in Ireland. It's coming up to account season. I know I'm not the only one doing my books at the moment. So hopefully this is a good reprieve. Hello people, let me know that you're here. Let me know what you're drinking. You may have just missed my fabulous routine. I'm drinking coffee. But you have arrived in time for me to show you the whiteboard. I was quite pleased with this week because hey Sinead, thanks for joining. What are you drinking? This is Facebook Trending Topics. Oh! If you've been following the news, you'll know that went a bit wrong for them this week. Number 2 is hashtags and LinkedIn. You're on a bus. Wow, that's kind of cool that your internet is able to handle you being on a bus. Are you in Dublin? Number 3, there's tons of Facebook news. Look at this. See all the Facebook on there. Number 3 is something to do with Facebook offers. We've got Facebook video. We've got Twitter and video. We've got Instagram, which I've kind of tamed my Instagram logo. Hey Barry, welcome from Mayo. Are you drinking tea? Are you drinking coffee? Or have you not got round to that yet this morning? Then we've got my cup of coffee. We've got more Facebook news, that's ads news. We've got Facebook Messenger news and another bit. Hey Kate, thanks for joining. And I'm very impressed with bus air and Wi-Fi, Sinead. Anytime I've tried to get on it, I've failed. So you must be waving a magic wand or something in Oma. Right, okay. So we'll start with, good morning Kate, tea? Facebook Trending Topics. Because Facebook did something interesting this week. This is a that's the wrong way around. Thumbs down for Facebook this week. They fired their Trending Topics team. Earlier this year, there was a problem with Trending Topics. Some right-wing commentators complained and they said there was a bias on Trending Topics towards left-wing news. So Facebook got into a lot of trouble. They had to explain themselves, their whole process. Thanks for joining from Twitter, Barry. It's great to bring someone new in. So they got into this trouble and they had to explain their whole process and they had to tell people how trending worked and that there was a human involvement, which I think surprised a lot of people because, of course, Twitter trending, I don't think there is. And their guidelines, they put all that up there. But obviously, since then, they've been thinking, what can we do? So at the beginning of this week, I knew you'd have tea, Kate. Beginning of this week, they fired their trending team. They went full-on algorithm. Well, almost full-on algorithm. What they did was they changed the way trending was. So the humans were writing a little outline of what the trending topic was before it went up. They got rid of that element. Algorithms are supposed to pick the trending stories that are most interesting to you. So it is personalized completely, and to put them into your newsfeed and to take the main source of that story from a respected news source. That's what's supposed to happen. Immediately it went wrong. Let me grab my iPad, turn it the right way up, because I'll tell you one example. And I came across this. I was going, wow, that's really interesting. Obviously it's really bad that they fired people, but it's kind of interesting that AI is working so well they can pick our trending topics. Monday morning, Facebook featured a fake story about Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly in its curated trending section. This was after they fired everyone. It told them that she'd been fired because she was a Hillary Clinton supporter. Apparently all this was lies. It came from an untrusted source. And it wasn't until one of the team, because they still have a few people there to make sure the news stories are real, it took them a while to pick up on that. So the story had already gone out as trending as a trusted news source. So oops. And that wasn't the only occasion. Now what I'm taking from this is kind of, in some ways, it's interesting because we assume algorithms work, right? We hate them as marketers because they mess up the newsfeed. At the moment, I'm hating Facebook. This week, they took all my reach away from me. But we assume they get it right. This proves that they don't really get it right. Did they preemptively, were they too quick to get rid of the team? I don't know. But it's really interesting that we all assume computers can do this stuff now, and actually they're still pretty rubbish at it. Thankfully, we still need humans. Okay, on to topic number 2. This is an interesting one. It's the first time LinkedIn has ever appeared on my whiteboard. Because of course we think that LinkedIn is a bit of a boring network. It is a bit of a boring network. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic for people like me for getting work. Amazing. But it's not exciting. And the news I've got isn't that exciting. Up until now, hashtags don't work on LinkedIn. They didn't work on LinkedIn. In fact, if you go to the web, they still don't work on LinkedIn. If you have an iPhone and you use the app, hashtags work. So this suggests to me that they didn't make a big announcement about it or anything. Suggests to me that they're rolling them in. So soon we're going to see more hashtags on LinkedIn. Soon they're going to work everywhere, which is interesting. I can't really work out why they would do this apart from, sure, why not? Hashtags work. Hashtags are a thing online, right? That's how we classify what we're talking about. Maybe they're joining us in the 21st century. Sorry, LinkedIn. I do love LinkedIn, really. It's an interesting one. It's one I'm going to keep an eye on. I've also noticed on LinkedIn, I don't know if you have too, that the newsfeed has an awful lot of video in. Their algorithm seems to be prioritizing video a lot, and they have rolled out a video product just to some very, very special people. And it's kind of a Q&A thing, but it's native video, which is video you'd upload directly to LinkedIn. Thanks whoever gave me the thumbs up. So I'm sure we're going to see more. Thanks, Kate. I'm sure we're going to see more. Do they make it easier to network, or do a lot of people abuse them, Sinead? I'm kind of, on Instagram, the only way you're going to get noticed when you start out is using hashtags. But I noticed that users that have been on there longer and have a better audience very rarely use hashtags. They work really well on Twitter. I'm not sure how well they work on Facebook, although ironically I have got a hashtag at the top here for Facebook Live. But I do see them overused an awful lot. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, on to topic number 3. Oh, hey Susan, thanks for joining. On to topic number 3, which is a bugbear of mine. Hands up if you hate vertical video. So vertical video is, and I'm blaming Snapchat for this, is video that's this way up, this way, portrait. Now when you watch your TV at home, it's this way round, it's landscape. When you go to the cinema, it's this way round, it's landscape. But when we watch video online, very often, because this is the way we hold our phones, it's vertical video. Now, I have no problem with people doing this, really. Particularly, you know, if you're on Snapchat, you have to do it that way. It's the opposite rule. It works really badly the other way around. However, if you're a business, no vertical video on Facebook, on Twitter. You're allowed on Snapchat and Instagram, but not Facebook and Twitter. However, I think at some stage somebody's going to call me an old fuddy-duddy, because obviously vertical video is huge. Again, anything I can blame Snapchat for, I will. And people just use it all the time. There's no getting away from it. Interestingly, up until last week, and I don't know because I haven't actually seen any on my mobile app since they've made the update, interestingly, Facebook would crop a vertical video to a square when it displayed it in the newsfeed, both on mobile and on your desktop. But they've made a change. So now they're going to display it full vertical length in your newsfeed on mobile. which kind of makes sense because on mobile it's actually going to fill the whole screen. It makes sense. But to me, this is one more step towards legitimizing vertical video. Don't do it. Just don't do it unless you're on Snapchat or Instagram. Interesting, though, I'm wondering how long until we do get TVs that you can spin around. It might not be that long. Still irritating if you watch on a laptop, though. Okay, moving on then to, let's go to the other bit of this was, I was going, how can I draw offers? How can I draw Facebook offers? This is my attempt. It looks like money. It was supposed to be a voucher. I can't write, you see, because this is mirror image. So if I write, it goes the wrong way round. Facebook have updated their offers product. What? People still use offers? Yes, they do. In fact, I was talking to someone recently and helping them set up offers. Offers are a really good advertising product. I'm going to have to grab my iPad for this one. 1 second. Hello. Okay. It's going to make me put my passcode in again. Right, so Instagram, Facebook offers. Let me just find the correct news story. Right, so they're upgrading them. The first thing is that people who accept an offer or claim an offer, instead of it going just by email to them, they'll have a little bookmarked section on their Facebook feed where the offers are there. This is going to be great for that Christmas market. This is going to be really good if you want to run an offer there. So that's going to remind them a little bit more, because the problem is people claim them and then they don't actually go and do the thing, buy the thing. They just have the claimed offer. So that bookmark will help. Reminders. People will get reminders across devices about their saved offers, such as when one is going to expire. They'll get a reminder from Facebook within, I'm imagining within the Facebook app. Again, it's really good because that means you're going to get claims, real customers, not just people interested, real customers from your offers. Coupon codes. One of the problems with offers at the moment is there was just one code. So whoever downloaded your offer or told someone about the offer could just tell you the code. It was exactly the same for everyone. In the new upgraded offers, advertisers will be able to generate unique coupon codes for each person who claims the offer. And then it says coming soon. This is actually from the Facebook blog. So that's going to be huge because now you can actually specifically see how many individuals are claiming the offer as specifically have taken it from Facebook. So you can actually track it. So if I go, I'm claiming your offer, you'll be able to assign me a unique coupon and you'll know that I am the one with that coupon number that has availed of the offer. So it's a lot more trackable, which is great for businesses. And finally, you can redeem an offer anywhere. People can paste their offer code during online checkout, or they can access it on a mobile device during in-store checkout. Previously, you had to choose which one of those options you wanted. This is going to be great for businesses. It's going to be amazing. So I can see a big resurgence in offers appearing in our news feeds. I very rarely see one at the moment. Excuse me. What will we do next? Twitter or Instagram? You can put a T or an I as a comment. This is what Twitter looks like. It may be video related. And I've got 2 Instagram bits of news. I'm trying to remember what the first one is. Isn't that terrible? T or I. Twitter. I. T. Twitter from Barry. Instagram from Rosemary. Instagram from Susan. Twitter from Sinead. Okay, it's 50-50. Okay, Kate, Twitter. There's one more person left to vote. Okay, we'll go Twitter first. This isn't that exciting. You picked the wrong one. Okay, Twitter have introduced, well, actually it is kind of good. If you are creating video and you're sharing it on Twitter, this is good news because Twitter are going to start running pre-roll ads on your videos. Hey Beatrice, good, you went for Twitter too. Yeah, Twitter are going to start running pre-roll ads on their videos on Twitter. Obviously, this is a terrible idea. But the good news for you, if you're a video creator, is they're going to revenue share, just like YouTube. So if somebody clicks an ad on a YouTube video that I put up there, I get like 1p, 1 cent from the money they make out of that click. So Twitter are going to introduce something similar. that's great. If you are creating video, that's going to incentivize a lot more video users to put video onto Twitter. I know I do it rarely. I might start doing it if I think I'm going to make money out of it. It's an interesting one. So more video we're going to see on Twitter soon. They're also doing some stuff with Periscope, which Twitter own Periscope. It's live streaming like this. And they're looking to monetize that as well. But they've got some interesting plans that don't involve pre-roll or ads in the middle of the Periscope that they're going to find ways to monetize. We might look at that this week. It was brand new in my news feed today and I didn't have enough time to digest it. Right, so Instagram. Instagram, my first bit of Instagram news of the week, and you can see I went for a toned down version of the logo rather than to try and do that whole rainbow thing again, is that they're going to have a discover area. Now, I looked on my app and I don't have it yet, but they're going to have a discover section in the explore section. So where you go to the search, if you go in there now, you'll see featured videos. If you scroll down, you'll see featured events, which I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But now you're going to see featured users. So it's going to suggest people you should follow. I think it's going to be their stories we see as well. So if you want more Instagram followers, you need to be using stories because you could end up in that suggested pane. That's another attack on Snapchat. One of two that I'm going to talk to you about from Facebook this week, because at the moment, the biggest downside of Snapchat is that it's almost impossible to find people to follow. Took me a long time to find. I think I was following like 3 people for 3 years, which was why I wasn't using it. They do have there is a third-party app you can use, but this is built into the Instagram ecosystem, so it's another attack on them. And I think it's great because I do want to find users to follow. It's fabulous. And particularly, I know if they're using stories, they're an active Instagram user, which is a problem for me because a lot of the people I'm following just don't post anything. Okay. Looks like I'm going straight into another bit of Instagram news. How am I doing for time? I think I'm racing ahead of myself this week. I am. You may have seen this. This was announced, I think, yesterday. The day before yesterday, I saw Sue B. Zimmerman announce it on her Instagram. Again, my app is up to date. I do not have this yet. But one of the most annoying things about Instagram is somebody would post a photograph up, and I pulled ads up as examples of bad ads that do this, and there'd be some writing on it and you can't read it. So you think you're going to zoom in like you do on Facebook, right? You double tap and you zoom in. What happens when you double tap on Instagram? Instagram says you like that picture. You may not have liked a picture, you just wanted to have a look. So not only was it giving a business a false statistic, but it's also not doing what you expect it to. Facebook own Instagram, you think they'd have a cross-party thing. It still doesn't work if you double tap, but now you can pinch, zoom, to see, zoom in on particular areas of a photograph. It doesn't stay that way. You need to keep your fingers on the screen to view it. As soon as you remove your fingers, it jumps back to regular size. I like this. I like this a lot because it is frustrating when you're on Instagram and you want to look a little bit closer at a photo. It is, I still wouldn't recommend if you're a business putting small text on your photos because who's going to zoom in to see that? But you might want to zoom in to see who's that in that photo there or what's that particular detail. So you are going to be able to put more detail in. I was thinking this from a business perspective as well. If you wanted to get people interacting a little bit more with your images on Instagram, you could do like a Where's Wally photo or something like that. Obviously inserting your own brand. So for example, Kate, you could hide a dog. Kate runs a pet related business. You could hide a dog in a photo somewhere and ask people to find the dog. Just for fun, you don't necessarily have to give away a prize. That means someone's spending a lot more time interacting with your brand. I think this could be really, really good. Or you could run a competition. You could hide something there and you could run a competition to get a bit more engagement going. There's lots of opportunities there. They were just the 2 that flooded into my mind when I thought about it. I'm sure there's loads more. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Marketers ruin everything. That's what I'm telling myself. But I do think there's huge opportunities for us as businesses. And also, I think sometimes my videos, which I create little short video tips, it would be good if people could zoom in to see specific sections of that as well. Right. 2 Facebook bits of news left. Will we go for Facebook ads? This is kind of a really important one. If you use Facebook ads, this is pretty huge. It's pretty huge from 2 aspects. So one, if your website isn't that fast loading, we all know you should have had that fixed by now, because there was Google last year, what was it called? Mobilegeddon, that they were going to start de-ranking people who had slow loading websites. Have you checked to see is your website slow loading? I'm constantly checking. People are reassuring me occasionally. Don't always go for Google's own checker, by the way, because it can be inaccurate. There's other tools out there that can check the speed of your website, but do check it. Make sure it's kind of pretty good. See if there's anything you can fix. So there's plugins you can get like WordPress Super Cache if you use WordPress that will help your website load faster. And that's good all around. But now it's going to be particularly good for Facebook, because there's 2 things they've done. They've started preloading websites in ads. So when somebody starts scrolling through your feed, before they've even clicked, they are preloading the link that you're sending them to in their browser, so that when they click, it'll be a lot faster experience. I'm just going to grab my notes on this. They're calling it prefetching. And let me find the first bit. So they realise, and I know you know, that if you click a link from mobile, it takes a very long time. That's why they're putting this in. But interestingly, it's the bottom of their announcement about this, the final paragraph, and I will put all the links underneath for you to have a look at. Over the coming months, we're working on it. We're working to improve advert experiences for people by considering website performance and a person's network connection in our advert auction and delivery system. So what that's saying is, if your website's slow loading, forget the prefetch. It's going to cost you more money to advertise. If the person you're advertising to has a slow internet connection, there's a really good chance they're not going to see your ad at all. We all know about my internet connection, right? I hope I still get to see your ads. So that's a really big thing for Facebook. And this is part of them restricting the number of ads that are going out there. This is the first in one stage that I've talked about the price of ads going up. We need to, not just for Google anymore, but for Facebook too, we need to ensure our sites load really fast. There was a stat here that I wanted to read you, and I can't find it now. I think it said, I'm going to look at my other notes, hope you don't mind, because it was a really interesting statistic. Here it is. Preloading sites before click shortens the load speed by 29%. I have to say, even though it's going to cost us more if we've got slow websites, this is really, really good news. I'm going to give Facebook a thumbs up for this one, because the problem is somebody clicks your ad, and if it takes a while to load, and it's not always your fault, it's sometimes the Facebook's fault, their browser fault, they leave. If they're loading your ads 29% faster, you're going to have better click-throughs, you're going to get better results from your ads. So it is actually good news. If you don't have a good website, don't worry. You could always use the lead gen type ads or the canvas type ads or something else to grab your customers. Okay, on to my final bit of news. I've raced through it today. And the final bit of news you may have heard about, because it's all over Facebook, is the final assault this week, because it is every week, by Facebook on Instagram. Do you know what it is? They've introduced live video to Facebook Messenger. It seems really cool. Maybe if any of you want to message me later on, we can give it a go, because I think it's out there now as long as you've got an up-to-date Messenger app. So both of you have to be on, it's only available for iOS at the moment, which means iPhone. So only message me about this if you have an iPhone, because we'll be trying for hours and it won't work. Both of you have to be online at the same time using iOS. Then you have the option to send a video to the person you're watching for. And the example they give here is, say I wanted to tell you, this is so not me, but say I wanted to tell you about a new pair of shoes I bought. I can then start the video and show you the shoes, and we can still message each other. And when you do it, by default, it's going to be silent. So it's not going to be you talking, which is good. It's going to be silent. Oh, you've tried it already, Sinead. I'm so envious. I couldn't find anyone online. I accidentally phoned Lorna through Facebook trying to do it last night. So the audio is off by default. And I love that as well, because one of my problems, you'd think I'm here doing a live video. I'm actually quite shy. But one of my problems about doing that is not that you're seeing me, but that you're seeing and hearing me. I suddenly get a little bit shell-shocked and embarrassed. So I think that's brilliant. I think it's going to be huge. Again, this is something you can already do in Snapchat. Kind of. Not exactly. But it is very Snapchat-y. And did you know that you can actually join Messenger without using Facebook? It's kind of like a Facebook Lite account. That happened ages ago. Facebook are being really hardcore on this war against Snapchat, and I've yet to see Snapchat do anything brilliant as a response. There was a bit of Snapchat news. You know, when I was drawing this yesterday, I was going, it's a long time since there hasn't been a ghost on my board. They have done something. They've made it a lot easier to create a geo filter. Now, you can't create a business geo filter for free, but if you wanted to do one for your town, that's something you could do for free. It's procrastination day next week. Not that I need a special day for it, but we recently unveiled, sorry, I went offline for a second there. We recently unveiled a statue of Ernest Shackleton, the polar explorer, here in Athy. We did a Facebook Live. It was fabulous. But I was thinking it wouldn't be good to make a new filter for Athy that has that in. And of course, I should have been doing my accounts. And I told myself off and I went and did my accounts. But this is really big for kind of local marketing. They've made it easier. You could always do this. Snapchat really need to up their game. The ball is in their court. Okay, 3 minutes until I'm due to finish, but I am going to finish those 3 minutes early this week. If you are not already in my Facebook group, I would love if you joined it. Because if you are a blogger, you have an opportunity today to put up your blog post there and get other members of the group to join, to comment on it. And you just have to comment on one in response. It's going live at 10 a.m, that thread, so there's plenty of time to join. This, I had ideas of flipping the camera around. You can't read this. This is backwards. Maybe take a, if you're watching on a phone, you could take a screen grab. You know, it's so weird now. I'm so used to seeing everything backwards. I can't actually tell if this is backwards or forwards. Spiderworking.com/group. Spiderworking.com/group. You'll arrive at my small business bloggers Facebook group. Ask to request to join. I'll let you in and join the comment thread now. I can see at least 3 bloggers, Sinead, Beatrice and Kate. Get over there now. Put up a post. It doesn't even have to be your most recent post, just a post that you'd like some comments on. Leave your post on the thread there. Comment on one of the others and let's make this thing work. And before I go, don't forget to put the date in your diary. I'm going to be in Dublin this time next week, so it'll be an outside broadcast. 9:30 a.m. next Friday. Set your alarm. I'll see you then. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great Friday. I can't stop the broadcast.